Today we'll be going over the learning outcome b14, which is describe one ethical consideration unique to animal research. To begin with, the use of animals in biological research is referred to as the MOP, or Model Organism Paradigm. Some of the most commonly used animals in biological research include rats, mice, chimpanzees, dogs, and cats. Since there are a lot of biological similarities between humans and these animals, the findings from animal research can sometimes be applied or generalized to humans. Mostly, animal research helps us gain insight into subjects like hormones and brain composition. This is called comparative psychology. In addition, it allows us to explore subjects that would be unethical to test in humans. With the use of animals, researchers are given the opportunity to highly control the study. However, there are still ethical guidelines that researchers must follow when conducting research on animals. These ethical guidelines are exclusive to animals, since most of the ethical guidelines of human research cannot be applied to animals. Before we get to the specific ethical consideration, it's important to remember that animal research involves a cost-benefit analysis. This means that a researcher should evaluate whether the information is worth harming animals for. If the information will be significantly helpful to humans in the long run, animal research is justified. On to the main topic, the ethical consideration that will be discussed today is that the study must be refined so that the animals used in the research suffer as little as possible. This means the suffering of animals will only be for the greater good and limits unnecessarily harmful animal research studies. This aligns with the cost-benefit analysis, since it means that the only animal research studies that will be conducted will be ones important enough to justify the harm of animals.
Myers-Berry was a study conducted using animal models. The aim of the study was to investigate more regarding the function of the corpus callosum and how it affected the processing of information from one hemisphere to the other. The study sampled cats who were put in one of two groups. One was a control group, and the other group had both their corpus callosum and their optic chiasm severed. Blindfolded in one eye, the cats were taught a maze and a shape discrimination task in which they had to touch either a square or circle to receive a food reward. After the task was successfully learned, the blindfold was switched to the opposite eye. The cats were again put in the maze and asked to do the shape discrimination task. The study found that the cats that underwent the severance surgery showed no memory of having learned the task and performed no better than a cat completing the tasks at chance.
Now onto the link. We're now going to evaluate whether this study correctly followed the ethical guideline of limiting the suffering of animals. Basically, was it ethical or not? The answer is yes. The study Myers and Sperry conducted correctly followed ethical guidelines. More specifically, it was refined and limited the amount of harm the cats had to undergo. Since the study exclusively aimed to study the corpus callosum, the researchers only severed the necessary parts of the cat's brains, which were the corpus callosum and optic chiasm. This was the only harm done to the cats in the entire experiment, since the use of blindfolds did not inflict any harm. Additionally, the rest of the study did not cause any distress to the cats, as they were taught simple tasks such as a maze and discrimination tasks. Therefore, it limited the amount of harm and did just enough to help us learn more about the corpus callosum and hemispheres of the brain. Thank you for watching our explanation of the learning outcome b14.